Good afternoon, XRP community. Good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you happen to be. So I just was browsing through and figured, based on some of the information that we know and what I've just found here through Tata Consultancy Services, TCS Banks, which is quote-unquote powered by Quartz. Quartz is their blockchain solution, which is Ripple enabled. And they put out a video. Well, I shouldn't say they put it out. It's unlisted. But if you go onto their website, they just made a new video on December 28th, 2019 about, and there's a couple things in this video I want you guys to pay attention to. First off, I want you to pay attention to the numbers that they're throwing out here. 450 TCS banks, bank customers are now on Quartz, which is their blockchain platform, and also the Kuwait clearing company, the CSD of Kuwait, and the Central Securities Clearing System of Nigeria, and Maro Clear, which is Morocco, and how they're saying cross-border settlement has been revolutionized. So if you're not aware, Kuwait Clearing Company and Central Securities Clearing System of Nigeria, that's gigantic. That is like the central platform for clearing in the entire nation. So I'll play this video and then we'll go through the Tata information. And so.
Ecosystems are about collaboration, reimagination, and delivery of exponential value. The Banks Industry Network, powered by Quartz, is an ecosystem created by TCS for TCS Banks customers. It is a private, permissioned blockchain ecosystem model that brings different organizations together. More than 450 TCS Banks customers worldwide can collaborate amongst themselves on the network. It provides access to authentic data on a real-time basis from the blockchain. Eliminate inefficiencies arising out of interdependencies, lack of access to data. New business processes can be piloted amongst a closed user group of organizations. And it provides opportunity for service expansion in collaboration with local or third-party entities. We have successfully executed several projects for our clients and have received accolades from our customers and the industry. Powered by Quartz, the smart ledgers, powering the future with trust and value.
So quite the interesting video. What I previously have seen about Quartz, obviously that they can, the Quartz blockchain solution through Tata can connect with Ripple, which you're going to see here in a second. But really the rhetoric that was being used before was that there was seamless integration to TCS Banks, and TCS Banks is really Tata's implementation solution as far as banking goes. But what was interesting about this video, number one, the settlements that were talked about, the clearing companies for the central clearing companies of two different nations that were talked about, remittance settlement being revolutionized. And really, I think the most interesting thing was the TCS Banks Industry Network not only seamlessly integrates with Quartz, which is the blockchain solution, but the TCS Banks Industry Network is powered by Quartz. So to me, I take that as the 450 customers. That's basically the core system now is blockchain capable. So if you're not aware of how big Tata Consultancy Services is, because I don't like to assume anything here, Tata Consultancy Services Limited is an Indian multinational information technology service and consulting company headquartered in Mumbai. India is a subsidiary of Tata Group and operates in 149 locations across 46 countries. It is the largest Indian company by market capitalization, one of the most valuable IT service brands worldwide. So this is just going on a little bit of that video here. This is I figured I should bring up the Kuwait banking or the Kuwait clearing company, being that it was in that video. As part of a larger transformation of the Kuwaiti finance market, Kuwait Clearing Company will transition from a gross settlement model to a central counterparty clearing settlement model. CCP clearing will increase liquidity, reduce risk, promote greater participation by global investors, and facilitate the introduction of new products to the Kuwaiti market. In 2016, the Kuwait Clearing Company established a 5-year strategy to implement international best practice investment market standards to help Kuwait attain emerging market status as defined by FTSE and MSCI, which would further the goal of attracting more foreign investment to Kuwait. Ripple's also in this document here. So this is talking about the Quartz gateway, which we just saw in that video. So the Quartz is their blockchain solution, which is now basically the core infrastructure of TCS banks, from the way that this unreleased video from them makes it sound like. So moreover, you can redeploy Quartz Gateway for every other blockchain-based ecosystem, whether sponsored by governments, bank consortia, industry-led partnerships outside of financial services, or entities such as Ripple. Now we get into the TCS. I kind of wanted to bring this up here just because it's always difficult to find how big these companies actually are with their platform. So TCS Banks Cloud presently hosts banking solutions for 160 banks and 90 million customer accounts worldwide. Now that video said 450 customers, so I would imagine that a number of those are banks, a number of those are probably financial institutions that are not banks, and so on and so forth. So just trying to give you guys the numbers here. So we can see this was in April of 2019, so last year. Tata Consultancy Services adopts Ripple technology. We'll go into the bread and butter of this part here. The Quartz cross-border remittance solution enables banks and payment systems to connect to newer DLT-based payment infrastructures like RippleNet for processing of cross-border FX remittance transactions. The Quartz Gateway seamlessly connects the TCS banks, and from what we've just seen, the Quartz Gateway basically is the center of TCS banks at this point. The Quartz Gateway seamlessly connects the TCS Bank's payment system to the blockchain-based payments platform using APIs and supports services related to FX quote finalization, debit/credit of beneficiary accounts. Leveraging this approach, existing/core systems operational at banks/other payment institutions need not undergo changes in connecting to the blockchain platform, as this complexity is absorbed by the Quartz Gateway. Now, this is actually this is a document from Tata, and this is Quartz, blockchain solutions for enterprises and ecosystems. Now, this document does show connectivity capabilities to RippleNet, but I really thought that this paragraph, or this little section here, was pretty important to my main line of thinking throughout digital assets and blockchain in general, is that interoperability is huge. And until they have all the, well, first off, payment rails, but second, until they have the interoperability squared away between all the, the platforms, R3, Hyperledger, RippleNet, that they're not going to press the green button completely. So the introduction of blockchain into an ecosystem implies that it needs to integrate all connecting systems or nodes. Such an integration is needed not only connect various connecting systems to blockchain, but to also allow the ecosystem to leverage standard messaging networks, including ISO, FIX, FixML, etc., as applicable. In addition, organizations are likely to explore aspects such as interoperability of technologies and even blockchain platforms. Data exchange between various blockchain networks will be the first step towards interoperability, which will further extrapolate to transaction flows. So first, they're making sure that these systems can actually talk and interoperate with each other. and then they're going to release transactions into these systems, which they've already been doing through proof of concepts, etc. But this is the way that the world's going. This is the way the blockchain, it's going to absorb absolutely everything. So this is another Quartz document. Actually, it's from the same document. I just trying to quicken it up here for you guys. Quartz Dev Kit, Smart Contract Development Kit. This has flown through Twitter multiple times. We can see the Quartz Gateway interoperable adapters. We have Hyperledger, we have Ripple, we have R3 Corda, and we have Ethereum. And like they talked about before, interoperability is huge. Now this is another document. This is Quartz settlements. All of this is available on Tata's website, which is where I found this unreleased video that starts my video today. But yeah, Quartz settlements. I'm just going to do a little brief overview of all these real quick, just so you kind of know what they're actually trying to put together here through Tata. So business benefits of Quartz settlements, or their blockchain platform settlements: ability to process and settle transactions in real time, T+0, increased transparency, improved settlement efficiencies, potential to disintermediate intermediaries, leading to simpler process flows and lower costs, reduced systemic risk, as the distributed nature of blockchain eliminates single point of failure, eliminates data duplication and hence reduces reconciliation efforts with market participants, and elimination of messaging overheads, real-time access to holdings and transactions. Also, through Quartz, and as we already know, their cross-border remittance portion of Quartz is capable of interoperating with Ripple. We've seen that. So current processes, it talks about leveraging DLT-based ecosystems. So where am I at here? The Quartz cross-border remittance solution enables banks and payment systems to connect to newer DLT-based payment infrastructures like RippleNet for processing of cross-border FX remittance transactions. The Quartz Gateway seamlessly connects the TCS Bank's payment system to the blockchain-based payments platform using APIs. We went over this previously in this video, though, through the actual news release article. And I hope my computer doesn't freeze up on me here. Okay, so there's another portion here of Quartz. This is Quartz reward points. So it looks like reward point management on blockchain. And I believe, I want to say it was American Express that directly mentioned XRP in one of their pending patents for reward points for customers. I guess that's one way to incentivize people to actually care about the world that's changing around them. But it's pretty clear. Business benefits of the reward points: flexibility in issuing the reward points across a vast network of issuers/merchants without any restrictions, instant settlement of transactions using reward point balances on blockchain. So I'm going to keep moving here. This was interesting. You know what? It's not yet. But so this is like kind of the main website here through TCS. And this talks about Quartz, the smart ledgers. This is where I found that video that has previously yet to be released. It looks like they put it unlisted on YouTube as of, I think it was, what did I say, December 26th or the 29th or something. This is a good source of knowledge here. If you haven't visited this website, these are three things. We always see like these Ripple partnerships and then they go dry for a little while and then they come back up and blah, blah, blah. But Tata has not been, stagnant in this market. Just as of December, they launched Quartz Dev Kit, which helps enterprises build blockchain apps 40% faster. Quartz-powered TCS Banks network was named the best blockchain breakthrough of the year through the FTF. And Tata Consultancy Services launches blockchain-based multi-brand customer loyalty platform on R3's Corda. So again, just seamlessly connecting to TCS Banks, but now we know that Quartz actually powers TCS Banks. This is what I thought was interesting. So can't find anything on this, but it's always interesting to me whenever you Google search something and you get taken to a website that either says 404 page has been deleted, or etc. This, and I wonder if I go back here if it'll show it. Now it won't. This basically says TCS.com. So this is on Tata's website. Ripple partners work with TCS again. And I found this on Google, but then you click on it and it's a blank page. So just thought that was interesting. This is another Tata article here, Architecture Guidelines, Bank-Driven Blockchain. And you hear a lot about Ripple, a lot about blockchain, but you don't necessarily always hear about the digital currency. And this is something I found, so I thought I would present it to you guys. So virtual versus native currencies, or virtual or native currencies. Virtual currencies are at the heart of distributed ledgers and are used to store and transfer value to another participant in a distributed ledger. For example, Bitcoin. It is apparent that banks and financial services cannot work at scale with virtual currencies due to regulatory considerations. Banks will not be able to acquire and hold virtual currencies. Also, as virtual currencies are predominantly designed to be peer-to-peer transactions, banks may not have a value-adding role to play in their customer transactions. Now that's virtual currencies. Native currencies are used by some distributed ledger technology solutions to collect fees and control network spam. Examples of native currencies are XRP from Ripple and Ether from Ethereum, which offer platforms for payments and smart contracts respectively. And I've talked about Ethereum in the past. I believe Ethereum is going to be, I know they're going to be huge. So not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I wish I held a little bit more Ethereum though. Now this is native currencies. So currencies are XRP is Tata is considering a native currency, and same thing with Ether from Ethereum, which offer platforms for payments and smart contracts respectively. A native currency represents a unit of compensation for the hardware and software infrastructure provided by the distributed ledger solution. However, a compensation unit for which a price is not decided based on transparent cost plus, but on speculative third-party behavior. Dealing in native currencies is less problematic for banks compared to virtual currencies, but it still may prove to be a problem. The cost of processing transactions may increase with the increase in the rate of adaptation, which is counterproductive. Now, I think what they're talking about here is the ability to save money by using a native digital asset such as XRP on the XRP ledger may be nullified based on the fact that these banks are going to have to pay money to upgrade their core systems and adapt to the digital ecosystems. But this is coming from Tata here. This is a Tata document, and they already just talked about it. So 40% faster, they just built a new app that banks can build apps on top of the Quartz blockchain solution. And they've talked about seamless integration to TCS banks. So that nullifies the bank's concerns. So I know that in this document, they're talking about the adaptation of using native digital assets by banks might be problematic due to the cost that it's probably going to take to implement that. But I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a non-issue, it seems like, because Tata, their Quartz platform basically handles that, right? And they're working on that anyways. So the cost of processing transactions may increase with the increase in the rate of adaptation, which is counterproductive. Banks will certainly prefer to pay linear fixed compensation in proportion to the cost of services used. It is most likely that banks may experiment with the technologies involving native currencies, but may choose the ones where charging is more transparent. This is also interesting here. India's Tata Consultancy Services. This was back in September. Launches real-time payment solution in multiple markets through APIs. Now, these are two videos that I believe I just found these around Halloween. This is from Tata here. You got 0 views, obviously. This is on Vimeo. Blockchain, a money maker for marketers. I'll link these videos. But blockchain is driving the internet of value. Near real-time settlement with no reconciliation. You can watch these whole videos if you want to. I will play this one for you, though. This is also back in, I think it was October or November. the strategic impact of blockchain on the banking and financial service industry. This is actually a very interesting video. I recommend that you guys watch this one for sure. I'll play a portion of it though.
So another example we have is called cross-border payments. This is something that is very synonymous within the BFSI industry. It falls under the disruptive innovation type and under business model type 4. Payments across countries, which is currently being processed through intermediary banks, can be streamlined. So the key focus for blockchain here is disintermediation of middlemen, central agencies, or correspondence by having trust as a protocol. Reduced cost of charges incurred through the payment chain, near real-time settlements due to the elimination of central agencies, and also highly secured due to the encryption and hashing of transaction data using a blockchain platform. And the different types of payments here can be covered under global payments, domestic payments, or intra-group payments. So the last example
Again, this whole video is pretty interesting here. The strategic impact of blockchain on the banking and financial service industry. I will link this video. Now, this is kind of the last thing I guess I'll talk about here. I just found this. This is from New America, and this is the blueprint for blockchain and social innovation. It does talk about XRP in here, which is interesting. Says Ripple XRP, a controversial cryptocurrency that is now commonly used by the financial service sector to settle large asset transfers and pay remittances. Ripple sacrifices the trustless environment of typical blockchains for transaction speed and current stability. I disagree with that, but okay. Giving the rise to critique that it is not a true cryptocurrency. But what I found very interesting about this is this New America company here. Throughout the process of conceptualizing, researching, and crafting the blueprint, our team has been extremely fortunate to partner with the Tata Trusts. Tata Trusts founded the blueprint to ensure that the benefits of blockchain technology transcend high finance and reach individuals with the greatest needs. And if we look, here's Tata. Since the Tata Group was formed 150 years ago, it has served as the custodian of public good, dedicated to making a positive social impact. 2/3 of Tata Sons' equity is held by the Tata Trusts, and dividends flow directly to support the philanthropic work of the trusts. So, well, I think the key takeaway from this, because we all obviously know and are aware of Tata's partnership with Ripple, but it just goes to show the development is continuing to go very, very strong. And I'm interested to see when they actually release this powered by Quartz video here through TCS Banks, because it's been available since December 28th through their website, but it's still unlisted. So I would expect to hear some things from Tata over the course of 2020. So, hey, thank you guys very much. And I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and see you soon.